Hey everybody, I've got Sparkle Lindsay here today with me. I'm really, really excited to introduce you to her because she was introduced to me because she has 4 autoimmune diseases that she's overcoming, as do I. Well, I think I have more, but that's not a good thing to be proud of, right? So that's why we were introduced to each other. I'm so excited for her to tell you about what's going on with her life. She is an influential speaker and addictions coach based out of Colorado Springs. And I would love for you guys to get in touch with her. We'll talk about that at the end, how she can do that and give you her name and number, and well, not the number, but her email or the different social media sites that she's on. How about that? So anyway, Sparkle, why don't you take it from here and let us know what all is going on with you in your life.
All right. Well, Jenny, thank you so much for having me. I truly appreciate it. When we finally connected, because I didn't know who Jenny Gold was, it was just a blessing to be able to meet you and realize that we had so much in common with our autoimmune conditions. So thank you for having me. I truly appreciate it.
You're welcome. Thank you for coming on.
Yes. So I have, Jenny, battled my autoimmune conditions for a long time now. It's been about 12 years. And the first experience I had, I was actually right in the middle of my basketball season. And I actually, all of a sudden woke up, my eye was drooping and I couldn't walk, I had all these things happening to me. Like one day I'd be able to walk, the next day I couldn't. Or one day I would, things were attacking me. And I was like, I don't know what's going on. And I'm getting ready to go shoot hoops. And I'm like, I can't move my leg, So it really scared me. It really scared me because it took the doctors at least 8 months to figure out what was going on with me. And they had no clue. And I lost my scholarship. I went from 140 to 107 in a week and a half. And I got real sick. And so I wasn't able to walk. And when they finally figured out what I had, before that, they didn't know. So they told me I'd never walk again and I'd never play basketball ever again, So it really hurt me, but I never really cried through it, which later on in my life, that really had a huge effect on a lot of other things too. Right. But 8 months went by and I promised myself I'd walk again. I kept doing everything I could just to reteach myself to walk. I did a lot of different things. They finally found medicines they could put me on, but I also did a lot of different things for my body, my health. I wanted to work out again and I knew it was going to be difficult. So I did a lot of, cleansings. I did a lemon and water cleansing while all that was going on, just to get everything out of my system, because they said that a pesticide set off a gene in my body, but they don't know what it was.
Nice.
So a pesticide could be anywhere, right? And so ultimately it had awoken the beast. Let's just put it that way, because from then, I played another 2 years of college ball. And then I was actually recruited from the WNBA, and I told the WNBA I actually needed to turn it down. I had a few teams that were after me, and I needed to turn it down because I literally, I didn't want to give myself 2 years of walking from playing. I wanted to be able to fulfill my, my life with just being normal again. I knew my body couldn't go through that hard any more strain. Do you know what I mean? So I went on ahead, turned down WNBA, and I jumped right into a career with Kohl's for 6 years as a remodel coordinator. Within that time, I accumulated characteristics of fibromyalgia. And I started noticing there were just points I couldn't lift my arms, my nerves, things started attacking my nerves. And it was just the worst feeling ever. So I went to the doctor, they checked it out, and I had 18 of the pressure points, all 18. So they diagnosed me with fibromyalgia and myasthenia gravis is the condition I was having, the first condition I had. So it was myasthenia gravis, which is a muscular inflammatory condition. And then I got fibromyalgia. So they said there was another condition in there, but the condition was not fibromyalgia. They just called it myasthenia gravis for the time being. I thought everything was good. And then I hit the age 30 and I ended up getting vitiligo, which is what Michael Jackson had. And a lot of models have right now. Winnie Harlow, my sister, Sparkle Lindsay, a lot of us hold an autoimmune called vitiligo. It's a skin depigmentation disorder. So at age 30, I got vitiligo, and I didn't think I'd ever get one. But when I talk with my doctors, they say, once you get one autoimmune, you're bound to get a few more. So sure enough, they found the second condition at age probably 33. I was diagnosed with lupus. So I ended up with these 4 autoimmune conditions. I had to basically do some extra work on the lupus. I had to take a form of chemo, which was methotrexate, to suppress it. And at that time, I also was drinking a lot. And I know that at the beginning of this, I didn't talk about my journey as a recovering alcoholic, but I am a recovering alcoholic for a year and 10 months now. And a big portion, thank you. And a big portion of that really, really was affecting my conditions as well. I would drink because I was in pain. And I was in pain because I was drinking and I was drugging. So with both of those, I was like, I guess one of them's got to go here. And the only one that would be able to go would be me saying, you know what? I need to change my life. I need to take my life back, do the right things. And I've got to stop using. I got to stop drinking. And, my drug of choice was cocaine. So with that, I also did a lot of work around pain management. And I really learned how to trust my body. I learned that no matter what's going on with it, or no matter where it is, if you can learn to trust your body and listen to your body, that's half the battle. A lot of times I would just ignore it. And if I had swelling going on or anything, I'd say, oh, it'll go down. I'll be all right. Yeah. Well, then a week later, I'm like swelling up. I'm in a crisis. No, I don't know what's going on with me. And I'm like, how did this happen? When I went through treatment, I did the somatic experience, and that's where I learned to trust my body. I learned to put myself first when I don't feel well. And with being able to do that, I was able to rest better. Things weren't as stressful because I knew that I could trust in my body enough to say, Sparkle, you need to get some rest. I'd go days without sleeping and stuff like that. And then I also dealt with a lot of trauma, working in the retail world. A lot of times people don't realize how stressful that is. But for me, it was extremely stressful, of 13 years of that. So I drank around the clock because of that. Then I faced some really intense trauma with an associate who killed himself in front of me. And that piece right there, and also dealing with the lupus, set me over the edge. And I knew then I needed to get some treatment. I needed to go in, get treatment, and work on me. And so that's what I did. I went in, I worked on me, and I continuously work on me now. And a lot of it is my determination to know that if I just really be curious about myself and every little thing, every element about it, then I can actually move forward. And, possibly I can live with these conditions. They don't define me, but I know how to fix them. I know how to help myself fix them. It's not like I'm stuck in this. There's certain things and multiple pathways to recovery in not just alcohol and addiction, but also in our autoimmunes. And there's lots of people who can help us to pain manage our conditions so that they're not difficult to work through, or they don't take over our lives. Okay, so I knew I needed to do something like that. So I went all in on conditions, on alcohol and addiction. I said, if I'm going to make a transformation, I'm making this transformation now, and I'm going completely all in to become whole again. And so that's what I'm doing right now. As a peer recovery support specialist, I am able to help people help themselves in any avenue of addiction, in any avenue of pain management, autoimmune, work-life balance, anything that involves a transformation, Jenny, I have worked towards, and that's what my certification is for. It helps me help myself every day, knowing that I am giving people the resources and the opportunity to help themselves as well. And so it's like two people working together through lived experience to be the best they can be. And I get to be a part of that with a lot of people and walk alongside them on their journey. And so I'm just really blessed to have went through the journey I'm going through, but blessed to continue moving forward because I know there's more in store, you know?
Yeah. Which I think is fantastic because you've taken control of your life.
Oh yeah.
You're taking control of your life. Yeah. And a lot of people that do have autoimmune diseases, they don't know what to do. They don't know the next step. And what you're coaching people on, you don't have to be an addict. You don't have to be an addict like alcohol or drugs or anything like that. You could be addicted to gambling like we were talking about, or you could be addicted to the TV and you just want to sit in front of the TV all day and not work or not do anything. And I think what you're doing though is really important for people to hear, especially right now in the time of COVID. A lot of people don't know what to do with their lives. They're just like sitting at home because they've had to sit at home. But getting them off the couch to do something, I think is difficult because some of us, we need that human connection, and we haven't been getting it for about a year. Some people haven't, and that's when we're running into suicides. That's when we're running into alcohol addiction, drug addiction, like cocaine or heroin or whatever, meth. I think it's I think it's really important for people to hear your story, to know that someone like yourself might be able to help them, or not even might, can help them and set them in a direction that'll make them better, hopefully.
Definitely. And I think another piece is walking alongside somebody, you know, like I'm very, very grateful that I met someone like you. This is a situation where connection is important, because sometimes when we talk about our addictions and when we talk about, you know, our conditions, if someone doesn't understand what it is to have an autoimmune condition, sometimes it's hard to talk about that with that person, right? But when you have a group of people who actually understand where you're coming from, and they actually know, like, you know, pains with fibromyalgia, or, you know, pains that involve your joint swelling or your muscle swelling, it's a good thing to be able to talk about it and uplift one another to keep moving forward. And so, but sometimes you talk to someone who maybe, you know, you look at myself, I walk around and some people have no clue that I have an autoimmune anything. They think I'm completely fine. And they immediately say, you're nice, you're strong, you're healthy, you're fine. And I'm like, yeah, I have 4 autoimmune conditions and I'm happy I woke up today walking. But okay, yes, I'm fine. You go ahead.
Yeah, you just go on your day. Yeah, it's great. Yeah. And the thing is, I think the other thing that we run into is that when you were working at Kohl's or place else, Pennies or King Supers, I think what we do is we try to hide what's wrong with us. We don't want them to know how bad we feel, so we're smiling all the time. Everybody's like, Jenny always smiles and her hair looks perfect. My nails don't anymore. Her nails are always perfect. You know what? It's because the outside that you see right here, you can't see what's going on the inside, right? And so, did you want your bosses to know how sick you were? No.
But you know, the issue is that as you work through your journey, you start to realize that it's okay to let your bosses know where you're at. See, the difference is that as a coach, I've learned, and just on myself, I've learned meeting myself where I'm at is superhero stuff.
It is. Yeah, it is. Absolutely.
I'm okay with telling people, you know what? No, I don't feel well today. You know, my conditions are acting up, but I'm here and I'm working through it. And that way people can approach me in a way that says, okay, Sparkle's here and she's working through it, right? And so ultimately, we cannot, with conditions or addictions, we cannot hide these things. We have got to be vulnerable enough to tell and say the things that are on our mind, because with that, we heal. When we hold it in, Jenny, you know, we talked about this, the whole stress factor. When we hold in our anxieties and hold in the way we really feel, it creates more of that autoimmune. It creates another one because we're so concerned about our stresses and not telling people that we're sick or that we don't feel well, that we fester that. And then next thing you know, there it is. You wake up and your fingertips are turning white because you got vitiligo, like myself.
And you're like, what's that all about? I'm like, well, I don't think my fingertips can turn any whiter. But
yeah, well, you know,
they could that. I know, but
or you end up going into a crisis and you end up having to be taken to the hospital and you wonder why. And it's because your body, you could have told somebody, look, I don't feel well today. And can you keep an eye on me? Right? We have to be able to tell people what we need in our lives in order to be successful with our conditions. We cannot do these conditions on our own. The conditions we have, they need a helping hand. And that right there is okay. It's all right to say we're strong, but you know what? When we become not just women, but people of many strengths, by asking for help and by letting people know what's going on with us, we can actually move forward and we can work through it. And we can work through it because we got our sober warriors. I have sober warriors with me. I have my autoimmune warriors with me. I have everybody moving towards this charge to be better for them. And that happens because we're able to be open and honest with one another and tell each other, hey, this is how I freaking feel today. Right? This is how I feel today, Jenny. Dang it. You know what
But you're like, I mean, you were literally in a wheelchair, right? You couldn't walk for a little bit.
Yes, I couldn't walk for a bit. Woo.
So I'd show up at a big event and I have my cane, or then I'd put it down underneath the table, and enough people it was so crowded. If I was going to fall over or if I had to grab somebody's arm, then I could grab their arm, right? But then sometimes I come in without the cane. They're like, is she faking it? Is she faking it? Then I would go cane, no cane, cane, no cane, walker. Like, I'm going to fake using walker. Like, I want to use a walker. No, I don't want to. You know, it's like I have hand controls in my car. I didn't buy the hand controls, the state did. So it's kind of one of those things where there's a lot of judgment. There's a lot of judgment. Doesn't matter what industry you're in. There's a lot of judgment, and you tell people that you're feeling okay. If you're feeling so great, then why are you using a walker?
Right.
People know that I'm not feeling great. They just might not want to deal with it, right? Like maybe they just don't want to deal with it. It's hard. I mean, it's really hard to have these illnesses, and my whole point right now with Jenny's Gold Standard, I have a mission. My mission is to help people that have disabilities that are seen and not seen, right? And people who have gone through depression, anxiety, all these things during the holidays. I mean, I was talking to people online regarding depression, anxiety, all of that over the holidays, because I didn't want to lose more veterans or non-veterans, because there are a lot of people that were not doing well over the holidays that weren't veterans, but there are a lot of veterans in the industry that I'm in, and I just want to make sure that they were okay. Maybe I could offer some things to them that might help them, may help them, right? We have to say that.
And I think what you said, the whole seen and unseen, I actually was on a Clubhouse just yesterday talking about the seen and unseen, and talked about the disabilities, because a lot of times, instead of approaching people, like I said, with how are you feeling today, or so that you can meet people where they're at. A lot of times we don't do that. We just assume that someone has a disability and that we should take care of them or tell them what they need. Ultimately, the big piece of this is going back to the basics, Jenny, and actually talking about it by deep listening to a person and allowing them to say what they need to say so that you can support them.
Yes,
and
exactly.
I think that's a big portion of us with ailments like autoimmune conditions or people who are suppressing pain. You know, I suppress pain with alcohol. All right. So I thought it was going away, but I drink it and then it would get worse, you know. But for me, it was important that I still speak up about that. And I didn't. For the whole 12, 13 years that I had all these autoimmunes, I didn't cry and I didn't tell anybody it was affecting me. But then I became resentful when people would ask me to do stuff because I'm like, I don't feel good. But nobody understood because I didn't communicate. And so ultimately now I don't ever shut up about it. I say, yeah, today I feel great. Today I feel inspired and determined to continue moving forward, right? But tomorrow it's not here yet, so I ain't gonna worry about it. But yesterday I may have felt real weepy and somewhat low and depressed. And that's okay for people to understand that. That way we can work through it because emotions are temporary, they're not permanent, you know? So a mindset change for me was what I needed. And being able to find people who are like-minded and a lot like me and my ailments really helped me move forward in my life. And I am so blessed today to know that there are people who are just like me and that I am not in this alone, and nor are you. You know, neither are you. So I think these are great things to embrace and be happy about. I mean, I did change my diet a lot. You know, I went into a lot of green smoothies and, you know, I've worked out. I couldn't work out extra intense because, you know, I'm not a college athlete anymore, but I've tried to do the right things to make sure that I keep all of my wellness together so I can continue to be whole. And only thing I can do is just take it one step at a time every day and enjoy the journey that I've been given. Play the cards that are dealt, you know?
Yeah, it is a day-to-day thing for us. It really is. And I think the other thing I was wanting to focus on just for everybody is the awareness of judgment. So it's really hard when people are judging you for what they think that you have and they have no idea. Like I haven't spent, my family and myself and insurance hasn't spent like $500,000, if not $1 million on what I have if I didn't have it. Like I've seen the best of the best, right? And that's what's hard sometimes because people want to say, no, I don't really think you have that. You know what? I don't give a crap what you think I have. I know what I have, right? So the judgment thing needs to stop. I think it's really hard. And I'm being kind of forceful with that because as I've been sitting here for a year, I've really come to the conclusion that I just don't, it's not that I don't care about people. I do. I love people. I love being around people. I think it's very important for me. I've always been the social summit, as they say, since high school. Like I always have been. But as we're sitting here and we're thinking more about our lives, why didn't we speak up more for ourselves, you know?
Yep, standing up for ourselves and understanding that. That's why I always kind of make the comment in a lot of different podcasts I've done, it's neither good nor bad, it just is what it is.
It is.
Ultimately, what may be in your favor may not be in mine. And that's okay. And that is okay. Allowing the universe to do what it's supposed to do will align us with what we need. And whatever we manifest will happen if we allow things to do what they're doing and we relinquish control. And I think a lot of that, you know, goes into the control factor for me. I wanted to control everything. I was an executive. I could run stuff. We all want to control stuff. 100%. As soon as I started saying, wait a minute, that's not my stuff. That's not anything I need to be worried about. I was getting so well. I got so well from not making what we would call other people's messes mine.
Yeah.
It wasn't
Exactly.
mine to fix. So Sparkle, let it go. And this is a
Mhm.
practice that I have had to do every day, Jenny, to make sure that I don't get outside of myself and start
Yeah.
using everybody else's stuff as my issue. Because as soon as I do that, I no longer am focused on my mission.
Right.
Now I'm stressed out. I'm
Definitely.
craving.
Mhm.
Okay. Now my wrist hurt. I can't move, whatever. I've set
Yep.
myself, put myself into a totally different phase than what I was because of somebody else's mess. So
Right.
we have to ultimately understand when it's time for us to slow down and realize when it is not ours to hold.
Right.
And if we do that and relinquish the control, it feels like a whole bunch of stuff's off your shoulders and you can move forward. And you're like, I've been holding on to all of this for what? For what?
Exactly. Well, our time is just about up, Sparkle,
Right,
but we're
thank
gonna have you
you.
back on.
Oh, for sure, of
Yes,
course.
because I would love to have you back on to discuss kind of your dietary things, maybe
Oh,
some of your exercise things, because that's what I'm bringing on too. I'm bringing in people for dietitians, people that work with the different autoimmune diseases regarding exercise, things like that, because your exercise plan isn't like my exercise plan, right? Lyme disease is different from lupus, but they are a little bit similar. So there's a lot of different things that are going into what's going on with both of us. But I will have a lot of different types of people on Jenny's Gold Standard
cool.
on my podcast.
Awesome. Sounds good. I'm
I
excited
know.
to see that, girl.
Yes. So how should people get in touch with you, Lindsay? Or not
Uh,
Lindsay, sorry, Sparkle Lindsay.
Sorry, Sparkle Lindsay. Actually, all
Lindsay.
of my sites, all of my social media sites are up and moving. So Sparkle Lindsay, if you look that up on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, I just kept it pretty simple with Sparkle Lindsay. Also, I do have a YouTube channel. It is called Sparkle, the Light at the End of the Tunnel. So if you want some motivation, a few videos, all of my podcasts are on there that I've been guest on. Check it out. It's a really good way to inspire yourself in the morning. And then also I have a Facebook page that is Sparkle, the Light at the End of the Tunnel. If you want to get a hold of me and talk to me immediately, I have an email. I check it consistently all day, every day. Sparkle Lindsay, the number 2 at gmail.com. Okay. And that will, just to let people know, if they are in dire need of someone to help them or to walk alongside them, I am more than enough available for that. If you contact me through Messenger on my Facebook page, Sparkle the Light at the End of the Tunnel, I will contact you right away as well. So just make sure if you need anything, I am here. I know that it is not easy to do this on our own, but I do know that I have a friend, a new one. And Jenny, I truly appreciate you having me on your show. And I can't wait to come back anytime you need it. And once again, thank you for holding space for me. And thanks for having me on your show. I totally appreciate it.
Absolutely. It was a wonderful time. We have a lot of bloopers.
We do.
It was really fun for the first half hour, right? But
yeah,
so I'll definitely put all of the information for Sparkle underneath this video. Down there. Down there. So yeah, but I'm really excited that you were on today. I'll have you on again pretty soon here. And happy International Women's Month. Well, that was a day. Happy National Women's, whatever it is, National Women's Month. We're all like, okay, yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
I am momentary roar. Okay. You too, girl. All right. All right. So I will see you soon. And bye. Have a great day. And stay warm.
I will.
Bye.
See y'all later. Bye.
Bye, sweetie. Bye-bye.